Welcome in, Slumpbusters. It's time for episode 92 of the Slumpbuster podcast. I'm your host, Juju Talk Sports. And on today's pod, we welcome in Savan and Kunal of It's KS Podcast. They have a quickly growing YouTube channel closing in on 10K subs. Go ahead and check them out. Enjoy our draft day conversation. We give a quick update on the Deshaun Watson situation. And overall, we have a great pod that I know you'll enjoy. But before we do, folks, we got to give a shout out to our partners. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Blue Chew is making waves and bringing more confidence to the bedrooms. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets combat all forms of ED and can help men gain extra confidence for when it's time to perform. Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting line at the pharmacy, and it ships right to your door in a discreet package. The process is simple. Sign up at bluechew.com with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part, it's all done online. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredients and strength for your prescription. Don't like swallowing pills? No problem here. Blue Chew's sildenafil and tadalafil tablets are chewable. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy. So if you could benefit from a little extra confidence in the bedroom for when it's time to perform, visit Blue Chew for more details and important safety information. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code SLUMP at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code SLUMP to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Slumpbuster. Our next partner, a long timer, one that we always love to talk about on the podcast. Yes, I am talking about Manscaped.com. Manscaped provides the perfect tools for your family jewels. Manscaped is forever changing the grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0. The number one in below the waist grooming. The Perfect Package 3.0 kit comes with the new improved Lawnmower 3.0, waterproof cordless body trimmer, and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your grooming routine. Their third generation trimmer features a cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin safe technology pioneered by Manscaped. Not only does Manscaped obsess over technology development to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience, but they use the best ingredients in their formulations. Inside the Perfect Package, you'll also find the Manscaped Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. If you want to look your best, smell your best, Manscaped.com provides the products just for you. Get 20% off and free shipping and handling with the promo code SLUMP at Manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping and handling at Manscaped.com and use promo code SLUMP. And lastly, it's time to give a shout out to CavemanCoffeeCo.com, an Albuquerque, New Mexico based product. We're from Albuquerque, New Mexico. We can tell you we only provide the best. Talking about their best, their cold brew coffees are delicious. They give you that boost, and I can't recommend them enough. Speaking of stuff I can't recommend enough, have you tried their Mammoth Blend? This thing gives you a kick of energy in the morning and the perfect way to start your day. But if you're looking for something a little bit more light, let's say you just want to refresh yourself, how about trying one of their hibiscus teas? Delicious, sensational. These products, I can't speak highly about them enough, but they can be yours if you use promo code SLUMP at checkout to save yourself 15% off your next purchase. Yes, promo code SLUMP at CavemanCoffeeCo.com. I guess the point of this, folks, use promo code SLUMP. Don't be a chump. Save yourself a whole lot of money, whether that be BlueChew.com, Manscaped.com, or CavemanCoffeeCo.com. Thank you to our partners. All right, guys, it's time for the episode. Savan, Kunal, It's KS Podcast, episode 92. Let's get it, let's bust the slump, and let's enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome into the Slumpbuster Podcast, episode 92. In the red corner, your host with the most, Juju Talk Sports, and join me, my tag team partner, hailing from El Paso, New Mexico, not Texas, despite what some may tell you, it's Christian C. Money Rogers. Christian C. Money, how you doing? How's your day going?
I'm good, but I'm definitely more of a Texan than you.
Come on. I got my free whiskey and my gun the other day at the store. Anyway.
Lived in Texas almost my whole life.
Sure, buddy. In the blue corner, representing It's KS Podcast, Sav and Kunal, the number one Gridiron High's Easter egg channel, but not just Gridiron High's Easter egg channel, one of my favorite sports channels on the whole YouTube channel platform. Guys, Thank you so much for joining us. We're happy to have you. How's your day going? I'll let you guys introduce yourself so people could get used to your voice, especially we got some audio-only listeners here.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Savan, aka Sav, but you may know me on YouTube as by Savan35 with 3 S's. And I'm the man behind the Gridiron Heights Easter egg videos, and I'm doing good. Ready to talk about the NFL draft.
What's up, everyone? I'm Kunal, a big NFL fan, big NBA fan. We're just here to talk some sports. Let's get it going.
Guys, we've been looking forward to doing this one for quite a bit. Obviously, we mentioned it, your Gridiron Heights Easter egg videos just have been blowing up, guys. Like, that, how impressive must that have been, like, that day whenever you just saw your video just, like, going crazy and getting all these views? Like, I'm sure, like, it just blew your mind whenever you opened up your YouTube channel that day.
Yeah, so, I mean, when that happened, I knew that there was an audience for it. I mean, you can ask Kunal, like, we were on it from a very early stage. Early on in our podcast creation ideas, we were coming up with what could we do to impress certain viewers and have an audience for our listeners. And one of the things I came up with is doing Easter eggs for Gridiron Heights, because we both watch it all the time. We point out comments, we look for the Easter eggs, we replay it every single time. And, we did that with season 1, episode 1. And then when that new season dropped for this last season, we had to jump on it right away so that we did it really quickly. And I think within the second or third episode, it just started blowing up. It was just crazy.
Yeah, what were some of your favorite episodes you guys have done or seen?
So, like, one of my favorite episodes was the Avengers episode, like a couple seasons ago, like the last episode right before the Super Bowl, where Mahomes was Spider-Man, and you had Brady and Belichick being Thanos. So I thought that was a really creative episode. But, like, I love how Bleacher Report and Gridiron Heights is always coming up with, like, innovative ideas and connecting it with like current events. That's super exciting, and it's, like, really fresh, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I love the Spider-Man one. The one that it's Among Us, the game.
Oh, I love that
yeah,
one. That was
good
funny
too.
as hell.
The imposter.
That one was really good. And then the Dragon Ball Z one was really good.
Dragon Ball Z was awesome.
Yeah.
I get a feeling that Bleacher Report, when they do these episodes, they kind of have to do it like how South Park does it. That like they
do it.
They do every episode within a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Bleacher Report, they just watch every single football game or try to get as much news as they can. And then they just write out the episode and just animate as fast as they can. Because they bring out those episodes really quick.
Yeah, like it comes out on the Tuesday, right?
Yeah, every Tuesday. So I've noticed sometimes Wednesdays, but mainly every Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah,
so it comes out on
it's
Tuesday
so funny
really
too.
quickly.
Yeah, it's just so funny too, like Kyler Murray's voice, like the little kid. They got Mahomes' voice actor with the frog voice. Like, they're just so good with all that.
The rookie baby QB voices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and then their other shows are good too, like Game of Zones. I love
Game of Zones is awesome.
Yeah, those are really good.
It almost had a better ending than Game of Thrones itself.
Yeah, exactly. It had better ratings than that last season. Huh?
Yeah, it gained Paul Pierce to be Bran Stark. I think that was like a good way to end that.
Yeah,
the one who called bank.
Those writers definitely watched all of Game of Thrones for sure.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And they knew exactly what people were bitching about too in that final season.
Yeah.
Like, I like how they did that one episode where they were joking around, like, and made the entire episode like dark and missed all the final battle.
Oh yeah,
because
you couldn't see any part of it. Yeah,
like in front of the battle at Winterfell.
That was so
good.
That
was funny.
In my reaction, that was the part that I laughed at the most. Like, I definitely had to bring down my audio levels a lot.
Yeah, he had to like really pause and like listen to what they're saying because you don't know what actually has happened on that court.
Let me ask, guys, as like Bleacher Report and all asked out, dropped you a ping, because I mean, at this point, like, your videos, like, one of them, let's see, 77,000. It's kind of hard to ignore at that point when you're pulling down those kind of numbers.
Yeah, so I gotta say, like, shout out to the Bleacher Report, shout out to all their writers, because they actually featured me in one of their videos. It happened to do with during Deshaun Watson's whole like free agency saga where he was demanding a trade. They actually had me on Instagram posting a jersey swap with the New York Jets. And it was like one of those references that they put, like, the location was New York, but we actually play in New Jersey or something like that, because the Giants and Jets play in East Rutherford. And then it was during that whole Deshaun Watson era. I was actually the post right before George Kittle.
We'll remember the Deshaun Watson era fondly, as it is currently in a bit of turmoil. As what are we up to? Like 20-some allegations at this point? 23. The moral of the story, guys: 40 masseuses. That's too much. At least
definitely, yeah.
Once you start hitting those double digits on the amount of women going to your house to massage you, maybe you should kind of say, maybe I should slow down. Maybe I should settle on one here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, man. It's crazy. That whole situation.
I would have never thought with Deshaun Watson, like coming from Clemson, like him being the leader that he is as a quarterback, like his character, I would have never thought it.
Yeah, I haven't really talked much about it because I still want to let the facts of the story play out. I feel like there's still a lot up in the air there. And the timing of it all with everything that was going on with the trade demands, and then this comes out of nowhere. And it's not to say, I don't think that there's a secret cabal of the Houston Texans that's organizing all these women to come out of nowhere to allege stuff against Deshaun Watson to keep him in Houston. At this point now, Houston's thinking, damn, what can I trade him for at this point? But still, it just seems so convenient that timing just lined up right when everything was blowing up there.
I mean, initially a couple episodes ago, like a few weeks back, we were like, oh, when it was only a few cases, we were like, oh, it's definitely made up. Watson has such a stellar reputation, but then as these cases pick up, you're just I don't know. You got to wait for the facts to come out, like you said.
Yeah. And we're always in this crossroads of this believe all women phase versus the believing facts and evidence phase. And you don't want to just come make a big grandiose statement right out the gate because, and I think obviously all of us are, if the guy's doing this kind of shit, he's a piece of shit, whatever, go off in the corner. But, at the same time, we want to give the story time to play out, because to make a rash judgment, a rash opinion on it within the first couple months of it, it's something I don't really like to do. And I know a lot of the pundits on all the mainstream platforms, they have a daily show, so they have to talk about it every day, every time a new allegation comes up. But I feel as though that just kind of hurts, a guy like Deshaun in the court of public opinion more. So I hope that we kind of get a little bit more resolution to this. I will say this though, what are the odds you think that Deshaun Watson plays any football this year? What percentile would you put that at?
How about not percentiles, but we go with betting odds? I'll take the reins on that one.
Oh man. So the way I'm gonna look at this, right? Previously, he was already considering holding out this season, plus all these allegations. Let's say him playing next year is at plus 200.
Plus 200. Okay, so let me see. So I'm not as great as far as betting.
Playing on the Texans. Playing on the Texans. Okay, yes. So that's saying what? You put 100 down, you get 200. They get 200.
He does. Okay,
yes,
gotcha. So, playing on the Texans, huh?
Yeah.
I feel like it might be even worse odds than that, for the Texans specifically.
Right. But their owners are a little, they're a little stubborn. That's why, you got to take all that into consideration.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, but I get it. You don't want to trade a guy that you drafted, that you paid all this money just in the first couple of years, just because, I see the way that whole thing played out. I'll say this, I was kind of against when they initially fired Bill O'Brien, because I understood the slow start. They had a really rough part of their schedule. And for all his flaws, you would say Bill O'Brien was a winning coach in the NFL, was doing it even before Deshaun had got into the Texans organization. As a player personnel guy, I will admit Bill O'Brien was lacking the necessary skills. I wouldn't want him to be my GM. But as a coach, he had a pretty solid track record up to that point. He's now the OC in Alabama. I'm sure he's going to have a great comeback year there. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's the head coach for insert college university next year. But
I mean, he wasn't a terrible coach, but it's just, I think that whole Hopkins trade just went downhill from there.
Yeah, I definitely hurt the trust between the organization and Sean, and then obviously this Laramie Tunsil thing blew up in their face in terms of the draft picks. Now we'll get in the draft obviously, but the Dolphins got a huge bevy from that, and I think that combination of things was rough. But at the same time, it's with last season, everything, I do think that the Texans still maybe had some pieces, maybe just get a fresh face in there. You don't like how their coaching search went as well. That was another thing too. That kind of caused issues and turmoil within the organization. But I guess we'll see. I like I said, back to the original question there, the betting odds at plus 200. I might even kick it up a little bit more than that. Would plus 400, plus 500 be too crazy?
Yeah.
I don't know. But like the Texans specifically playing football at all, though, I'd probably say maybe that plus 100 mark because it's looking like that commissioner's exempt list is sneaking up on him.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, guys. Well, that was kind of impromptu topic. Just kind of got thrown in there, but I like it. We're free ranging. We're adding in things. That's what a podcast is. That's what this long form content is. We could come up with stuff as we go.
This is a message brought to you by the Foundation for a Perfect Package.
Why do I need Manscaped?
Why do I need Manscaped?
Why do I need Manscaped?
Because the only frill I want is the one up top.
Because being in a relationship is not an excuse to be lazy.
Because I like talking ball, not smelling like them.
Because deforestation is proven to prevent forest fires.
Manscaped is the only brand dedicated to below-the-waist grooming.
Manscaped's Crop Preserver guarantees that you smell your best all day long.
Manscaped Boxer Briefs are the most comfortable underwear on the market.
Manscaped's advanced skincare technology makes nicks a thing of the past.
Manscaped is the #1 in men's grooming. Subscribers get 2 free blade refills every 3 months. Get 20% off plus free shipping and handling with the promo code SLUMP at manscaped.com. That's the promo code SLUMP at manscaped.com. Get your Lawnmower 3.0 today.
We are the Slumpbusters.
And we approve this message.
Of course, the NFL draft is literally next Thursday. So 1 week from today, we will know who will be the future of many organizations, names that we've talked about for years, whether or not Trevor Lawrence is that guy or that good. A lot of questions to be had. And one of the ideas we're going to do going into it was just a little bit of a mock draft. You know, I'm not like a huge mock draft guy. I like to, see what everyone else says and kind of like determine like the day of, because I feel like there's a lot of agents putting in their 2 cents as far as like the players to kind of like hype people up. But I do like kind of like these scenarios in my head and just seeing the possibilities. And there's so much fluid stuff that's going to happen in between now and Thursday that will be a lot of fun to talk about. So we determined a draft order here. Starting us off, Sav, with the #1 overall pick. You're going to take that punter out of Georgia Tech, right?
No.
Let me guess. You're going to go with the mainstream media pick, the lamestream media, Trevor Lawrence, right? Come on.
Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars select quarterback Trevor Lawrence out of Clemson.
Okay. Any further explanation of that pick? I mean, come on, like kind of overrated prospect, right? He doesn't even love football, man.
I feel like you're trying to hack the draft, like that Gridiron Heights episode where Bill Belichick hacks the draft.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to make Trevor Lawrence's trade value or draft day value go down so low that he slips to 3.
Oh.
So, I mean, it speaks for itself. I feel like if you're not even like a diehard college football fan, you've heard of Trevor Lawrence for like so many years now, and he seems older than he is. At this point, his resume at Clemson, he's been a true freshman and still been that talented as a quarterback where NFL teams would select him as a true freshman. And there's not many chances that this happens to you. So the Jacksonville Jaguars aren't going to miss on this one.
All right. At 2, C Money, the New York Jets. They have been a franchise that has been plagued by lack thereof of quarterback play for many years. They made a big decision in the offseason to trade away Sam Darnold. Who are they taking at 2?
So since they traded away Sam Darnold, they need a quarterback. So I would say New York Jets pick up Zach Wilson out of BYU. He's a quarterback. They're going to need the quarterback. I think that's a good pick for them. Yeah, because they need someone. And then also Sam Darnold is just not good at all. So hopefully they could turn it around with Zach Wilson.
I think that's one of the big debates with Sam Darnold. Was he a bad quarterback or was he in a bad situation? I think it's a combination of both. I think that Sam definitely could have done a little bit more with that team than he did. he had moments where it was a flash in the pan, but then mononucleosis hit, and then all went downhill from there. Those New York girls, man, just gotta stay away from them.
I mean, he did what he gotta do, right? He's just living his best life.
Case didn't help that situation either, though.
No, crazy eyes just darting everywhere.
Smelling salts.
Yeah, whatever could wake him up in the morning. The one thing I do want to talk about here, are you guys surprised by how Zach Wilson was able to shoot up past Justin Fields, who was pretty much the number 2 overall pick all the way up until about maybe a couple months ago?
I mean, I am a little bit because, like, I like to follow these quarterbacks because that's the most important player, especially in these drafts. So, like, you heard about Zach Wilson a few months back as like the sleeper prospect, as like the Mahomes. Like, he had all the intangibles, but he played at a small school and nobody believed in him. But Justin Fields has like the it factor. He played at a big school, showed up in big moments. So I'm a little surprised, but I see what they like in Zach Wilson.
Okay. Well, as the resident Niners fan on the Slumpbuster podcast, with the number 3 overall selection in the 2021 NFL draft, the 49ers will select North Dakota State quarterback Trey Lance. I like Trey Lance. Yeah, here's my thing on it.
I'm surprised.
I was very in on Justin Fields for the majority of the pre-draft lead up. And I guess I want to stay a little consistent too, because I did just drop a video on the subject last week where I said Trey Lance as well. I told the viewers I might go back and forth on this one all the way up until draft day, but I'm going with Trey Lance on this one. I'm staying consistent because I feel like he fits the timeline the best for what the Niners are doing. They've made this commitment to having Jimmy Garoppolo on the roster for 2021. And if Jimmy is healthy and if he is on the field, the Niners can still win games. They can still compete, and they still can be a Super Bowl contender. With Trey Lance, everyone who has talked about the guy has said he's been more of a developmental prospect. They take a year. It's not going to be right away. It's not like you put him in week 1, have him start against the Arizona Cardinals, Seattle Seahawks, Rams, and just see what happens. So I feel as though he fits the timeline the best. I like his skill set. I think he makes good decisions with the football. Obviously, he has that one statistically crazy year where he threw 20, 30 plus touchdowns, no interceptions. So I think the fact that he makes good decisions is always going to be something that Kyle's going to like. I like that he's got a big arm, mobile. The only thing I don't like is how he's mobile. I see him trying to barrel through defenders a lot. And that's obviously something you don't want to see from your quarterback at the NFL level, at least not for very long. So I think that could be worked on. But I'm overall team not Mac Jones here. So as long as it's Justin Fields or Trey Lance, I'm okay with it. But I'm going with Trey Lance on episode 92 of the Slumpbuster podcast. Put it in stone. All right.
Okay.
Kunal, we're going to pick 4 here.
Wait. I want to talk about pick 3 first. Because, like,
it's an interesting subject.
It is. I was going to ask you if it was between Justin Fields or Mac Jones. But why would the Niners trade up so high for getting like the 4th ranked quarterback in the draft class?
Yeah. Okay. So are you saying you think Trey Lance is the 4th ranked quarterback out of that?
I think Trey Lance is the 4th ranked quarterback, and then Mac Jones. So that's why I would have them taking Justin Fields. But I get what you're saying. He's a project, and I completely agree. If Garoppolo is healthy, you guys are a solid team.
Yeah. I think the way I kind of rationalize it is I think that the base skill set for Trey Lance is higher than Mac Jones long term. And I've made that same argument for Mac Jones. Why would the Niners trade all this draft assets to select Mac Jones, who I believe if Mac falls past the Niners, he could free fall in this draft. Honestly, I think there's a lot of teams that look at him as more of an early 2nd round pick. And somehow the Niners have just been connected to him in such a way, in the same way that Kirk Cousins always gets connected to the Niners for whatever godforsaken reason. I believe exactly. I believe that's the way that I think Trey Lance just has a lot that people like. I like too when I've heard the story about him too. Justin Fields, obviously he fought for football. He fought to get the Big Ten going. But you hear about Trey Lance's story. He wasn't even recruited to be a quarterback. Coming out of high school, he wanted to go to Minnesota as like his home school, like university. They didn't offer him. They said, well, we could give you a safety scholarship. And he's like, no, I want to play quarterback. I like that belief in himself. And I think that kind of leadership, I think that kind of being a big personality, I hear he's a loud talker. I think he really commands respect in the locker room. And I think that's the kind of stuff that the Niners in particular, like their guys like George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, tend to respond to. And I think a guy like specifically John Lynch, former safety, Hall of Fame safety, can definitely like connect with a guy like Trey Lance.
Well, I mean, his upside is definitely like it's there. Like he has Josh Allen like type. Yeah, he has like Josh Allen type like comparisons if he works on his game and develops. And sitting behind like a great offensive mind like Kyle Shanahan and learning from him, he'll definitely be any quarterback you guys select. I think has the like potential to succeed just because of coaching and the system and the offensive weapons you guys hold.
Like you said, if it's Justin Fields at 3 as well, I am not crying. I am actually going to bed happy that night as well. But
not Mac Jones.
I'm leaning Trey. I'm leaning Trey Lance. Yeah, Mac Jones. That's been giving me nightmares. I think I might have to start carrying around a flask if I hear Mac Jones called on Thursday night. But all right, man. Well, it's pick 4. So this is all on you. 4. The Atlanta Falcons. I think this one is kind of an interesting selection as well. I'm hearing trade. I'm hearing draft. I'm hearing position players, quarterbacks. Atlanta. I mean, what is their future?
I mean, you definitely threw me off with that pick because I was considering Trey Lance for my pick. So that completely threw my draft board off. But I feel like this is where the draft actually starts because my team, the Falcons right now, not my real team, but my team in this position could take anyone. Ideally, I think they should trade back. But if Justin Fields is available at 4, I'm taking Justin Fields. And then we figure it out. I trade Matt Ryan next year. I figure it out.
That's a great pick, honestly. Do you think there's a chance that the whole Matt Ryan's going to be our QB for the future, or at least for the immediate future? Do you think that's like a smokescreen by the Falcons?
I mean, see, I really like Kyle Pitts here too, but I would much rather trade back, get more assets, just because Falcons need a little more help than just a pick, and quarterback won't help them now. But I think if he could sit behind Matt Ryan a year, just like whoever the Niners take could sit behind a year, like behind the quarterback, I think it's a perfect situation. Julio's getting a little older, but like he can come in, he could learn, and then next year it'll be his team. And Arthur Smith, I think he has the potential to be a good coach. So he'll get a guy that's mobile, who can throw the ball, has an accurate throw, has a strong arm. I like Justin Fields here.
I think that would be a great pickup for the Falcons. I think Matt Ryan definitely is on the back 9. But I wouldn't be shocked if they go with a Kyle Pitts here because I think a Kyle Pitts, Julio, Calvin Ridley, that is a great offense right there. But 2, by that same token, this is also a spot that I've key marked for the Patriots, the Washington football team, the Chicago Bears. If they feel as though their guy's still available at 4, I think that either one of those teams could make a big call to jump up and try to snag someone there.
Well, I mean, even the Lions, if Justin Fields is available at 4, like our mock draft's going on, I think they jump on Justin Fields because they haven't had a consistent quarterback in years.
Well, let's see here. So that brings us to the number 5 overall pick. We good on the Falcons. Anyone want to chime in before we move on? No? Good. Okay. At 5, the Cincinnati Bengals will select who to support sophomore quarterback Joe Burrow coming off that horrible knee injury.
So there's 2 options that the Bengals could go with. They can go with their shiny toy and picking Jamar Chase and reuniting the 2 LSU former teammates, or they can fortify their offensive line to protect Joe Burrow with a offensive lineman with either Penei, Sewell, or Rashawn Slater. But I'm going to say that the Bengals are going to pick Jamar Chase and make a lights out offense and pair the 2 former LSU teammates up.
Oof, I am misaligned with you on that one. I got to say, I think that they have to go offensive line here because I like the Bengals receivers, actually. I really do. Tyler Boyd, Higgins balled out last year.
Higgins is good.
I think they have some nice pieces there, and I think there's a lot of value to be had in the second round at wide receiver versus selecting Jamar Chase in this spot. Like, I get it. He's a great wide receiver, and he's going to have a good, long career, but I'd rather take care of Joe Burrow on the line. I build from the trenches here.
I agree. I would probably take a lineman too. But like if Joe Burrow goes out and goes to the management, he's like, "Oh, listen, you got to get me my guy." Yeah. They can't disagree. So I get it, but I would go Penei Sewell too.
They can though, because listen, all things considered, I think listening to your sophomore quarterback, who's barely getting accustomed to the NFL, played less than 10 games in the NFL, is not a way to win long term. Just ask how the Browns feel when they hired Freddie Kitchen, who was Baker Mayfield's favorite OC.
and not too
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I mean, listen,
think
Bengals fans probably saw Joe Burrow get hit a lot last year, so I'm sure they're hoping they get a lineman to help him out too.
Yeah, I just think that just stabilizers, you can't go wrong building from the trenches. It's how a lot of
Look at the
teams have
Colts.
won
That
a
is
lot of
true.
games.
Look at the Colts. Quentin Nelson, they took a couple years ago, and he's been a stud.
Yeah, and even though I will say, like, I don't think that a Penei Sewell or Slater can guard all 5 guys coming off the line, it has a trickle-down effect, of course.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, Quentin Nelson, him just being that stable force in the middle of that line made everyone around him better. Yeah.
Even this will help out Joe Mixon too, because he was getting hit in the backfield a lot last year.
And
So
didn't they make a
just,
pick in the offensive line too a couple years ago?
I
and
think they took a lineman last year too.
went down with an ACL like in training camp, I want to say.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about. So I think they're young at the line. You make sense to go either way. Make the splashy pick or take the safe pick.
Okay. Well, this one makes a lot of sense for you. See, Money, you spend a lot of time in the Miami area as it is. But at number 6, the Miami Dolphins will select who to support Tua Tagovailoa, or however you say the last name. I struggle with it.
Okay, so since Savan wanted Jamar Chase, if he's not picked up, I would say Jamar Chase, but I would go with Devonta Smith from Alabama. Dolphins definitely need wide receivers. They re-signed Mac Hollins, but I do think Jamar Chase is a good one. If they haven't picked him up yet, Devonta Smith is a really good second option if they've already picked up Jamar Chase.
They also added Will Fuller this offseason, so I think you could what's his name, Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, and like that would be a crazy offense.
Yeah, that would be really good. I liked Will Fuller when I had him in fantasy. He wasn't too bad, so that would be really good.
Yeah, a lot of speed guys, a lot of guys who can go deep. I guess just seeing if Tua has that in his game as well, because we didn't see him take a lot of shots downfield.
Yeah. The way this draft board is going, I'm really surprised Kyle Pitts is falling.
That's
like
me
if
too.
I'm any team in the top, like if I'm the Eagles right now, I'm calling the Lions. I'm giving up a first rounder and another pick, just trying to move up and get Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's tough for like when you start to talk about like Kyle Pitts and everything, like where does that value lie? I know a lot of people have definitely prioritized tight ends in recent years with the rise of George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Oakland, Las Vegas, Darren Waller. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think tight end is important.
Tight end is really like picked up, and when you look at the measurables for Kyle Pitts too, and certainly just turn on any Kyle Pitts highlight video. Turn on a Kyle Trask highlight video, and it's basically a Kyle Pitts highlight video.
The man's a beast. He's probably after Trevor Lawrence, he's probably the best prospect in the draft.
He has almost zero bust potential.
I guess I forgot, like, I'm on the clock here too. Some of the Lions, huh?
Number 7.
Yeah. I need a guy
that's tough spot too.
Yeah, I know. It's a tough spot because I got to know what the organization wants. And they want a guy that's going to go out there and bite off a kneecap. Is that Kyle Pitts? Is Kyle Pitts the type to bite off a kneecap? I need to know.
I mean, this is also another good trade back spot. Like, we're not doing any trades in our mock draft, but like Lions, I mean, they have a lot of work to do on their team too.
Let's see. So you drafted Justin Fields. Trey Lance is gone. So really the only quarterback still on the board out of that is going to be Mac Jones. Do I think a team is bold enough to trade with the Lions at 7 to go out there and get Mac? Probably not. I think that most of the teams are still looking for quarterbacks, feel as though that they can wait to see if he slides a little bit more. So, yeah. Okay. So the Lions, here's the situation they're in. Kenny Golladay, gone. Marvin Jones, gone. They just brought in Jared Goff. They did just draft Hawkinson a couple years ago. So they did invest in a premium tight end. So do they want to add just Kyle Pitts to that and kind of have that 1-2 punch there?
I believe they took TJ Hawkinson at 7 last year too, right? 6 or 7 last year too, I think.
Right around that range. Actually, I guess it would be a couple years back because this is going to be going into his third season.
Third year. That's true.
Here's the problem for them too. They obviously last year's, and I'm already spacing on his name, Acuna, Ronald Acuna.
Oh yeah.
He didn't exactly have the best rookie season, and there's a lot of premium corners in this draft.
Yeah.
Do I want to go and reach on Patrick Surtain?
Penei Sewell still available.
Ooh, Penei Sewell. That's true. We didn't go with Penei Sewell in this draft.
I
think that's probably where I'm going to have to go because I think as though you have a bit of a statue quarterback in Jared Goff, not knowing whether or not they're going to move off Jared Goff here in a couple years, but knowing his skill set, I think that you do want to keep him with as little pressure in his face as possible. So yeah, give me a generational offensive line and give me Penei Sewell. Thanks for that one, Kunal. Thanks for picking me up there.
I think that's a steal.
You just wanted your guy at 8. That's what really.
I mean, listen, look, if I'm Carolina right now, I'm getting Kyle Pitts at 8, and I already have DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. Sam Darnold's gonna have a field day.
Come on, you don't want to get Mac Jones? Get that 1-2 of Sam Darnold and Mac.
Give me Kyle Pitts and this offense. Sam Darnold's gonna go out there and show all New Yorkers they were wrong.
Oof. Get the Adam Gase boost. Put Sam Darnold on your late round sleepers in fantasy. That's what it comes down to.
If he has Kyle Pitts, man, offense is going to look good. Because they looked decent with Teddy Bridgewater last year. They had a lot of games they could have won. And the offense was stacked last year too. But tight ends, that's a position they're not strong at.
Brun
they lost Greg
DJ Moore.
Coming back healthy. Let's see. I'm
Joe Brady.
Thinking about this. I'm so excited. You guys don't even understand.
We allowed this to happen. We allowed Kyle Pitts to drop to this offense. Matt Rule is going to set up a new role in the NFC South.
I mean, look, if that offense, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, they lost Curtis Samuel here, so he's gone. But then Kyle Pitts, Christian McCaffrey, field day. They're winning the division with this team. Bold prediction right here. If they get Kyle Pitts, they're winning the division.
Kunal is fully half chub right now. Semi-torqued.
I'm so excited.
All right.
Broncos at 9.
Broncos at 9.
Another tough one.
This one you can make an argument. I mean, there's a tall, white quarterback here. John Elway special coming up.
And, he loves it.
All right. Well, let's see here. I did mention their history. I did mention what they have been known for and linked to in the past. Let's see. So as far as premium wide receiving talent, it's gone. As far as Penei Sewell, he's gone. Mac Jones is sitting there. I could go cornerback. Rashawn Slater, that might be an option here too. Like if they want to run it back with Drew Lock and give it another shot. I think that might be where I have to go with this one. I think I'm going to go with Rashawn Slater. I think they might make the boring pick, not the pick that's going to necessarily get hailed by fantasy football Twitter on draft day. But they do have wide receiving talent. They did invest in Jerry Jeudy last year in the first round. They can wait on it. Healthy. Yeah, and I mean, as far as like in their secondary, there's Patrick Surtain sitting around there, J.C. Horn. But I feel like cornerbacks are going to drop a little in this draft, all the premium high-end ones.
Well, I mean, if C Money's looking at his draft board right now, he's excited.
Exactly, because we know the Cowboys' main need. All right, C Money, who you got?
All right, so now my Cowboys, we are suffering at defense really bad. We got our deal going with Dak, so we're good on quarterbacks, hopefully. So I think the Cowboys are going to go with Patrick Surtain II from Alabama. I started doing a lot of research on him, and he's pretty freaking awesome. So if they pick him up, I'm going to be very excited. I think that's going to be a really good pick. Hopefully I'm not wrong. Last season, I thought the Cowboys were going to get more defensive players, and then they got CeeDee Lamb, their first pick. And that one got me excited because I wasn't expecting that one.
That got me sad, man. He was supposed to fall to the Eagles.
So I definitely think the Cowboys are going to go with Patrick Surtain.
You got J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Come on, you're good.
Jalen Reagor.
Jalen Hurts to Jalen Reagor. Jalen times 2.
It's
I
not.
don't know.
It's not confirmed that it's Hurts though. It's a quarterback competition, but we'll get.
Yeah, Joe Flacco. We had not Joe Flacco on our last podcast,
I
but Joe
heard.
Flacco.
I heard that one. Yeah.
He's elite. Elite.
He is elite. Joe Flacco, always elite. All right. Well, who is going to be the elite pick for the New York Giants at 11? Are they continuing to help Daniel Jones? Is that the route that the Giants want to go? Obviously, they loaded up on free agents this year. It's a prove-it year. What are they going to do, Sav?
For Big Blue, I think the Giants are going to fortify their offensive line. And since the first 2 picks are already taken, I think they'll still try to go with somebody who is a hog molly, as Dave Gettleman would say, someone to fortify the trenches. And the Giants are going to pick Alijah Vera-Tucker out of USC.
It's a little early in my opinion, but it's not a bad pick.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem. Like when those elite blue chip offensive linemen start to go early, then you do see these reaches. I know the Texans got attacked for drafting a high-end offensive lineman last year that some consider a little bit of a reach in the first round. But like when your guys are gone and people jumped you in the draft, you just kind of have to adjust what the board's telling you. And if you have a need at offensive line, well, you kind of have to still fill that. And I'll say this too. They have said that this year's offensive line draft is a little bit deeper than years past. My problem with it and why I was so advocating on Penei Sewell over Jamar Chase is I feel it's so much harder to evaluate good offensive line talent at this point in the league than it is to find good wide receiving talent. Seeing how guys can adjust to the speed of the game at offensive linemen with all these monsters coming at you on the defensive line. When you look across and see a Myles Garrett looking at you, you just kind of have to,
yeah, I mean, it's a premier position.
That's true. The Giants have usually had their success in free agency. That's what they fortified all their, the players with this season. So they really only had 2 needs really with the offensive line and then edge rusher. So, and like you guys said in the past, like it was kind of a reach. They actually did that in the past with Eric Flowers. So it's going to be tough in this situation either way. There's rumors that they might trade down, but Dave Gettleman usually doesn't trade down in his first round pick. So honestly, this is why mock drafts are so exciting, because you never know what's going to happen. You see all the different situations.
Yeah. It's funny to think about, like, I wonder what kind of, you mentioned hog molly could be a potential term that Dave Gettleman throws out there. I love these terms that he comes up with for his draft picks, like Saquon Barkley, touched by the hand of God. Daniel Jones, he sees him at the, what's it called? The Shrine game or whatever, is like, now that's a quarterback right there. That's a quarterback face,
Yeah, forget about all the other GM setups. Dave Gettleman has the best one, the paper computer.
Dave Gettleman, I remember looking at his draft day setup last year, because obviously one of the cool things about last year's draft is we got to see the Zoom, we got to see everyone's setup, we got to see Cliff Kingsbury's house and everyone else just balling out.
Got to see Gruden's draft board.
Gruden's draft board just sitting out there in the open.
Jerry Jones in a yacht.
But then there's Dave Gettleman. Like you said, plain white walls, nothing on them, no background, looking like Colonel Sanders.
Hey, he wants his respect this year, though, for the free agency. That was
he
awesome
did a solid job so far.
Giants.
He has had success in the league. I know it's easy to kind of make fun of him, especially after the Daniel Jones pick was criticized so hard on that draft day. As it turned out, it aged a little bit better, considering people were like, Dwayne Haskins. Well, Dwayne Haskins.
And even still, we don't know how good Kyler Murray is going to be either. I mean, he's had his ups and downs as well.
Yeah, I mean, but you would say this, like Kyler Murray, his ups and downs, he's not in danger of losing his starting spot. He's just in danger of being considered a little bit overrated. Daniel Jones is in a position where he's either a backup for the next 10 years or out of the league in 5. So,
well, I think Giants did a great job, to surround him with talent. And then this is the prove it year, like you said earlier. We'll know by the end of the season if he's going to be the quarterback, or they're going to be drafting high next year and taking another quarterback.
Okay, so let's see. So the reason I got to pick at 3 is because the Miami Dolphins traded us that pick. And then you guys, in turn, the Philadelphia Eagles, traded down from 6, are now sitting at 12. So Kunal, you have the opportunity to represent your boys here and tell me who they are going to be selecting on draft day. Considering too that a lot of the high-end wide receiving talent is gone early, this might be a tough pick for you.
So, okay, ideally, if Kyle Pitts is available at 7, we're jumping and we're trading. if Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase is available, we're trading. But right now, I think we're gonna take Jaylen Waddle. He has elite speed. He has that Tyreek Hill comparison. No receiver in the last couple of years has gotten that, and Tyreek Hill has lived up to it. But Jaylen Waddle has been solid too. Him and Devonta Smith were a crazy pair in Alabama. So I think him and Jalen Reagor will have that same connection. And Jalen Hurts, great prospect, good quarterback, great leadership, has been in Alabama. So I think he has that connection with Jaylen Waddle or Devonta Smith. I'd be happy with either one of them. But cornerbacks, I need two, but I'm going with Jaylen Waddle. Throw me I want that shiny toy.
That's a good pick. I got to ask you a question, though. You know how, so many teams are trying to find the next, young offensive minded coach with Sean McVay? I feel like teams now are trying to do the same thing with Tyreek Hill, but how many of them have actually panned out in those kind of speedy, more smaller stature wide receivers?
No, I know that's definitely true, but I think the amount of hype he's getting right now, we haven't seen in the last couple of years. So I think that's definitely a great thing. It's just his ankle injury, so he wasn't healthy, but he's tough. He played through that ankle injury. He wanted to be on the field when it mattered. And when he mattered, it counted. And Devonta Smith won the Heisman, but it wasn't just him alone. His team was stacked. Jaylen Waddle helped him. Mac Jones helped him. So I think if he comes in, he could. If we get a guy that could take the top off the defense, we'll get a guy like Deshaun Jackson that we had a couple of years ago. If we get that, I think that's great for us.
I asked that because Howie Roseman and his choosing of wide receivers is kind of on the hot seat.
It is.
Justin Jefferson slipped, and then So I was wondering, what do you think their draft board is for wide receivers? Who do they have ranked in terms of?
I think Jamar Chase is a clear-cut number one, and I think the reason why we traded back was probably because we assumed that we're not getting Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts at 6, because assuming a team like Falcons could take him at 4 or Bengals will take him. So I think that was the assumption. But if one of these guys is available, I think Devonta Smith might drop a little, in my opinion, just because all the slander he's getting because of his weight. So I think he would be a good fit. But a lot of these mock draft pundits, like you said earlier, these guys have Jaylen Waddle higher as well. So I would be happy with either one of them. If I get a shortcut number 1 receiver, which we haven't had in a really long time because we've blown a lot of picks, if we get one this year, I'd be really excited.
Okay, guys. So interesting, picks there. Obviously, there's a couple names that we didn't mention in that top 12 that are sliding down the board. So Mac Jones, for example, he's still out there. Where does he fall? Does he go to New England? Does he end up in Washington? Steelers, maybe. Who knows? You're seeing a lot of other quarterback prospects jump up there and get their name mentioned, like Kellen Mond, Kyle Trask. Very notable to see that. And then we didn't even mention a lot of the cornerback prospects. So I think that seeing that those guys slide, the fact there's not a premium edge rusher in our top 12, I think that's something that you don't see a lot in most drafts.
Well, I'm kind of surprised Micah Parsons.
Oh yeah, of course, the Penn State linebacker.
Yeah, he's a beast. He had a great pro day. I'm surprised he's falling a little.
If we look at our top 12, there was really only one defensive player that was selected. Does that kind of surprise you guys?
I think so. I think that we probably underrated how many of those secondary players could pop up there. I think it's just because there's that mix of trying to figure out between J.C. Horn, Surtain, and Asante Samuel Jr.
And even Caleb Farley. He's been getting a lot of looks too.
I think that those guys are all kind of bunched up has caused their value to plummet a little bit here. And I think that that's something that we could also see on draft day. And again, the fact that there's not a Nick Bosa or a Chase Young in this draft that's really pushing people to have to get up there. Yes, you would say that Parsons is going to be a very good linebacker in the league and is exactly the type of linebacker you want in your system. Very athletic, sideline to sideline, able to assist in coverage. He's the new wave of linebacker that you want in the NFL. But I think that you consider the linebacker value has really dropped in recent years, which is really a shame because I still value it as a premium position on the defense, especially a middle linebacker, the anchor to your defense that kind of makes sure that all the guys are in the right spots and, keeps you from getting burned, like a Fred Warner, someone's very cerebral who can just sit there and coach you through it. Luke Kuechly, those guys. I think that they're very underrated. And I think that a team is going to get a steal if they can manage to get him. If he could slide to someone like the Raiders, or if the Raiders can trade up and potentially get him, I think that would be a huge pickup for them. Like I said, these cornerbacks, it's hard to say where they're going to end up going. I've seen, I'm looking through other people's mocks here. Surtain, JC Horn dropping to like the Chargers and other teams that can use them. Everyone can use a premium corner,
Well, I mean, this year, the thing with this year is like the 5 QBs that like people have maybe potential. Like some people have 5 quarterbacks going in the top 10, which is unheard of. So I think that's the biggest like storyline of this year's draft, and which will change like a lot of things like trades and stuff, just because like Falcons, Lions, Broncos, like there's so many teams around that could use a quarterback but don't really need one, so they'll trade back.
Yeah, I mean, I threw you guys off by, of course, picking Trey Lance at 3, and that causes a trickle-down effect for Mac Jones and Justin Fields. How far would you say in this scenario does Mac Jones fall, realistically?
I think he goes to the Patriots.
So the Patriots at 15 is the lowest he could fall?
Patriots. Yeah.
So do you think there's a situation where someone would want to jump the Patriots then in that situation?
Because, I think we're going to see a few trades for quarterbacks.
Because I can see Minnesota trading down. That's kind of like up their alley. The Chargers trying to get Pace. The Bears are in a situation where Ryan Pace has put himself against the wall here. After the Mitch Trubisky thing, he's only allowed one more quarterback, and it's crazy that he's allowed to make this decision too, given that this is going to be your guy. And if it's Mac Jones or Davis Mills or anything, I don't know if that's something you can necessarily sell the fan base on.
Yeah.
How about the football team? Would they trade up for a quarterback?
Possibly.
See, there's that rumor. So obviously, again, with me picking Trey Lance at 3, if the Niners legitimately do take Trey Lance at 3, I think that means Washington might be content to stand pat. But if not, if Trey Lance falls to 4, from my understanding that there's some thought that the football team's ready to trade the house there to get up for Trey Lance.
Yeah, I mean, if the 3 quarterbacks are Lawrence, Wilson, and then Justin Fields, then I feel like Trey Lance and Mac Jones could fall out of top 10. Like there is a scenario where that happens.
Yeah, I think we talk about every year, like, oh, we're going to see all the quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it never quite happens. Even in that premium quarterback draft that we had a couple years back, the Baker, the Sam Darnold, the Josh Rosen draft, we saw those guys slide. We saw Lamar, of course, slide all the way down to 31.
Yeah.
Josh Rosen obviously slid down to 10, and there was 9 mistakes before him, guys. Don't forget. And I'm sure there's a lot of mistakes in that statement.
A little more interesting is that they traded up so high. So we just assume that they're going to take quarterbacks like the 49ers,
49ers are definitely taking quarterbacks.
Well, the 49ers are. Well, the Falcons as well. So, I mean, that's why we think the first 4 will probably be QBs.
Yeah, I mean, but you can't underrate it. Like we were talking about with the Falcons there, that they could stick with Matt Ryan. They could keep that going for another couple of years. In fact, they can't even trade Matt Ryan for another couple of years at minimum because of his contract. It just would be so much of a large dead cap hit that it's just better to just keep him on the roster. So if you have him on the roster, you kind of want that team to be able to compete regardless.
Yeah, exactly. And try to win now.
Yeah, so, I mean, and they do have a new head coach there with Arthur Smith, a creative play caller. So, I mean, the Falcons can make a little bit of noise. They're a team that I've rated high the last 2 years. I think maybe it's a little bit of Dan Quinn's influence, just a little bit of white noise, like from him as a head coach. I think that might have dragged down that team's entire effort because we started them playing hard towards the end of both of last seasons. They did show that there's enough talent on that team to compete. Now they're in this position, too, where well, the Saints should take a step back, right? Drew Brees gone. That should be expected. And then the Bucks.
Hangover.
Yeah, Super Bowl hangover. It's a thing, but not really a thing that Brady's experienced much.
And like Carolina, we don't know what we're getting out of Sam Darnold either.
Not that he didn't experience some sort of hangover, I'm sure, after that Super Bowl parade. I'm sure there were plenty of hangovers after that.
Plenty.
All right, guys. Well, cool. So like one thing we always like to, of course, like ask like our first time guest here is so C Money and I, we do the Get Your Popcorn series for the Slumpbuster, which is just like we like reacting to sports movies, sports TV shows. So we like to ask our guests on the Slumpbuster their favorite sports movie. So you guys answer this one individually.
Okay, mine, I got to go with The Longest Yard.
we talking remake or are we talking original?
The remake, the Adam Sandler one.
Okay. Sav?
And then I gotta go Coach Carter with this special shout out to the TV show One Tree Hill. Those are my favorites. Our deepest fears are that we are inadequate.
Yeah, Coach Carter's really good.
I like how we got a drama and then we got a comedy between the two options here. So that was more the jokester of the two of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's do a brief why is the longest yard. Why
So,
does that
you know,
movie stand out to you?
It's just a funny movie. You see all like Michael Irvin in the movie. Like it's just it's like a fulfilling story. This man goes to prison, he sells, and then he ends up winning the whole thing. And it's just a happy ending, funny movie. Chris Rock dies for spoilers. You know, that was
funny,
Saturday.
actually. Yeah.
It's a solid movie.
Yeah, there's surprisingly a lot of stars that you don't realize are in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I completely forgot that Joey Diaz was in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, like when I saw it recently, I was like, "What is that, Joey Diaz?"
Yeah, it's a funny movie. It's a good movie to watch.
All right, guys. Well, I mean, hell, your YouTube channel is doing a lot more viewers than us these days. I mean, you got to send some of our way. Come on, like, guys, what is that?
I mean, that's what we're doing, right?
That's what we're doing right now. We're networking. We're meeting other podcasts. You know,
for sure. But either way, if people haven't seen your channel, if people haven't seen your social media, where can they find it? Tell us. Educate the people, guys.
So my Instagram and Twitter and YouTube is all the same with 3 S's, Savan35.
And then my Instagram is Kunal1021 and Twitter's KunalV1021. And then for the podcast, it's just It's KS Podcast. And we're both on Instagram and Twitter. So give us a follow.
Fantastic. See Money, any closing thoughts?
Good movie choices. I like Coach Carter. That was definitely a really, really good draft discussion. I'm very excited to see like what's gonna happen. I'm excited and nervous for my Cowboys as I am every season. I'm just gonna be really honest with my Cowboys, man. I love my team too much.
I feel that.
Feel that too.
It's okay. You could just drown yourself in Skip Bayless white noise for the next week and just see what happens there. You're either going to see crying or cheer after draft day on a Friday, and it should be fun. Either way, like drinking to the pain of Skip Bayless is enjoyable regardless of circumstance.
Or Skip. Skip.
I can't wait for the Gridiron Heights draft special. Should be a good one.
That should be a good one. In fact, too, guys, I think that we got to mark down. We got to do something else, too. When more Gridiron Heights comes out, you know, that's definitely something, like I said, brought us together. We both love it. And, we got to see who the baby voices and what uniform they're going to be in coming into this season.
For sure.
We've got plenty of ideas cooking up for that.
Looking forward to seeing all of them. But, all right, guys, well, it's KS Podcast. Go ahead and check out these guys. Like I said, tons of great content. Get them to 10,000 subscribers. They're closing in on that milestone. And we really want to see like their channel continue to grow because we got to figure out all these Easter eggs ourselves. Check out our partners, BlueChew.com. Go ahead and add some more confidence in the bedroom. Go ahead and skip those awkward trips to the doctor's office and save yourself some money. Come on, don't be a chump. Use promo code SLUMP. But don't just stop there. Use it at manscaped.com, cavemancoffeeco.com. Whatever you got to do to hashtag Bust the Slump. At Slumpbuster Podcast on IG, at Slumpbuster Pod on Twitter. Check us out on Twitch. We're going to start figuring out some stuff there. We're going to start doing some projects. Keep an eye out for that. But other than that, guys, I need you to stay safe, happy, and healthy. And we'll see you on the next one.